There's three different variables that have messed up the real estate market for the nation, but especially here in Utah. Today, let's just talk about it because I don't think a lot of people talk about them in general. Number one is going to be the government artificially decreasing the interest rates back during the coronavirus. A lot of people bought homes at a 2.75 or a 3% mortgage interest rate, and there's a chunk of those people that will never put those homes back on the market. So when we already didn't have enough listings to support the amount of people looking to buy homes, now there's even less that are going to come on the market, and a solid portion of them quite possibly will never go on the market again until those people die. The truth of it is that the real estate market didn't react the same way the government was expecting it to. And as much as, yes, decreasing the interest rates made it so that homes were more affordable for a month, it actually made the affordability crisis even worse in the future, which is something I just don't think that they really pondered. The second is the volatility with the mortgage interest rates, which are causing them to be a larger spread away from the 10-year treasury yield. If they were at a standard rate, which is like 1.5% above typically where the 10-year treasury yield is at, our interest rates right now would be at about 5.8%. But they're not. They're double what they typically are for that spread between 10-year treasury and the interest rates. And so we're at a 3% spread, where usually we're at a 1.5% spread. And that's because the market's so volatile that people are concerned about it, and that increases the spread. So as the market becomes less volatile over time, hopefully interest rates will start going down, especially if Jerome Powell decides to decrease interest rates more than 3 times this year, which would be a huge indicator for people that the real estate market has calmed down, there's going to be less volatility, and investors can be more comfortable with the market. Last thing that I just don't think people understand, and it's specifically about Utah, is how quickly the population here is growing. We've consistently been, over the last 10 years, one of the top 10 fastest growing states in the union. And on top of that, we've quickly became one of the most unaffordable states. We're something like 7th or 8th place for the most unaffordable states in the United States right now, which is a problem, but there's so many people moving in, you can't imagine it's going to get any better. Which is layered with not pulling enough permits and building enough housing for people in general. And so there's going to be less houses being built. There's going to be less houses that are listed because they've got low interest rates, and we've got more people moving into the state, which is just the perfect recipe for increased housing prices. Is that going to happen? A lot of people assume. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong. But it's one of those things. There's so many indicators. There's so many indicators proving the strength of Utah's economy. One, low unemployment. 2, the amount of job growth that we've had here. 3, the amount of people moving to Utah just because it's an enjoyable place. There's so many indicators acting like there's such high demand for housing. There's so many factors that indicate high demand for housing here in Utah, and yet we're like 10,000 permits below what are needed for new housing units in the state of Utah, which is just creating a problem and a huge indicator that prices where they're at right now aren't going to necessarily go down anytime soon. So I hope that's just information you don't hear as often as maybe other places. Let me know if you have any other questions. Other than that, have a great day.